course, darling, I command, no one can against me, so let me give you a kiss. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm gonna play a little bit. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm gonna take you out from this whole war, from this whole thing. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm gonna let you hear, that I'm gonna give you a ring and you're gonna live in peace. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against us. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I just wanna stay calm. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, that I'm gonna fly away from everyone. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I have what I want. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm gonna put your ring. Of course, darling, give me a kiss, that is what you can see. Of course, darling, just playing a little bit, Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, that I'm gonna take you for a ride. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, you all my diamonds. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I have plenty of them. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm gonna give you some. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, that I'm gonna have fun. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, that we're gonna ride. Of course, darling, that is what you can have, that we're gonna get what we want. Of course, darling, that is what you can see. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I can shoot all the armies off. Of course, darling, that is what you can have here, that no one can against me, that I bring you peace, that I bring you truth. Of course, darling, that is what you can have from me. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that they will want to finish me, but they can't. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that I give you your truth. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that no one can against me, that they all wanna finish me, but they can't. Of course, darling, I go from a place to another. Of course, darling, I don't stay nowhere. That is what you can see, that I have what I want, that I go where I like. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, that I'm gonna give you a gift. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that you wanna kill each other, but I have my bubble. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that they are all killing each other, but I have my bubble, and in my bubble there is peace and love. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, let me give you a kiss, you're gonna feel fine. Of course, darling, that no one can against me, that I'm gonna give you what you need. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm gonna give you a ring. They can all kill each other if they want, I don't want. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, if they wanna kill each other, let's let them kill each other. Of course, darling, I give you your truth. Of course, I give you the truth. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, that I'm gonna give you what you need. Of course, darling, that is what you can have here. Of course, darling, you want a diamond, you want a ring, let's the bubble and all. Fine, of course, darling. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that I give it them, and all these people are killing each other. Of course, darling, I let them there. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that I can show them how to shoot a gun. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, and how to put the gun off. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, I bring you the truth. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, that is what you can have here, that no one can against me, that I know how to move. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that no one can against me, that I'm gonna give you what you want, what you love, what you like. Of course, darling, so is it how I move here. Of course, darling, that is what you can see. You want some more, I'm gonna give you some more. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against us. Of course, darling, that is what you can have, that I move my body like no one can. Of course, darling, that is what you can see. And in my place there is peace. Of course, darling, I wanna play Catan. Of course, darling, that is what you can see. I wanna play Catan, smoke some joints, fuck some bitches, and have fun. Of course, darling, that is. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm the system. Of course, darling, that is what you can see. We're gonna shake our ass. Of course, darling, if people from paradise come, we're gonna shake our ass in the system. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against us. Of course, darling, that is what you can see. There are so many people trying to fuck me. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, but no one can against me. Of course, darling, that is what you can have here. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm gonna shoot myself. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, I'm gonna blow myself. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm the system. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that I'm the system of paradise. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, that is what you can have here. Of course, darling, you know I'm shot was. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, but I'm gonna move like no one can. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, they are coming from everywhere. Everyone want this war, everyone want to expand. Of course, darling, I just wanna smoke some joints, fuck some bitches, and play Catan. Of course, darling, and they come from everywhere. Of course, darling, what is that? Of course, darling, that is what you can see. The peace, the truth, and the ring. Of course, darling, no one can against me. That is what you can see. That is what you can have here, that no one can against me, that they move like no one can, that they are all after me, trying to finish the system. Of course, darling, but it's the only truth possible. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that no one can against me, that we're gonna move, that I'm gonna give hearing, and they are gonna come from everywhere and try to shoot us. Of course, darling, we're gonna die like martyrs. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, but we're gonna die together. Of course, darling. Of course, darling, they are coming from everywhere, that is what you can see, they are trying to fuck us. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that they want my things and things like those. Of course, that is what you can see, they want in the best days, and then that these days that cannot pay the loans and things like those. Of course, darling, that is what you can see, that is what they are trying. Of course, darling, indebting the states that the people cannot pay back and things like those. Of course, darling, and then the people have no representation and they are slaves from the enterprise. Things I said million times. Of course, darling, and I just wanna play Catan, smoke some giants and fuck some bitches. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that no one can against me. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that I'm the system. Of course, darling, I'm shot was, they are all after me, trying to kill me. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, that they are after me, that they put me in their enterprise, they try to get my honey and things like those. Of course, darling, that is what you can say, my father-in-law makes that things. Of course, darling, that's what you can see. That my father-in-law punished me so many ways, of course, darling, that's what you can see. That no one can against me, and that I'm gonna shoot them off, of course, darling, and then I'm gonna shake my ass in the system, of course, darling, that's what you can see. That they are coming from everywhere, but I'm the system, of course, darling, that's what you can see. That they are after me, of course, darling, that's what you can have here, of course, darling, that's what you can see. That no one can against me, that I'm gonna move, and that I'm gonna give you the truth, tea, and peace, and the ring, and love, of course.